Welcome back to the deep dive. If you ever feel just completely overwhelmed by everything coming at you, the emails, the notifications, just that constant push to be doing more, then this deep dive is, well, it's for you. We're not just looking at articles today. We're trying to build a bit of a framework for, I guess, self-preservation in a pretty chaotic world. Our sources are all centered on mental wellness and this practice of finding calm. And our mission really is to unpack the idea of a personal safe space. But we want to go deeper than that. We want to understand how this simple idea can be, well, a really powerful tool for just navigating your day-to-day life.
And that reframing is so important. We're talking about this not as some kind of luxury, but as a foundational practice. The sources we looked at really tackle that feeling, those moments when life feels a bit too heavy, that constant noise and uncertainty.
Yeah, and the core paradox, which the research points out, is that the busier we are, the more we feel like we can't step back. We think slowing down means we're failing. So this deep dive is kind of a pushback on that idea. It's about why building that space is, well, it's essential.
Okay, so let's unpack that right away. When people hear safe space, they probably picture, a cozy corner with a blanket. But the sources we reviewed offered a much more fluid definition, which is great because not everyone has the luxury of a dedicated physical space. They lay out three main ways a sanctuary can actually manifest. The first is, yes, that physical corner, something that grounds you.
The one we all picture. Exactly.
Yeah.
But the other two are maybe more powerful. The second is a mental habit, a thought or visualization you can go back to. And the third is just a routine, something that reliably brings you calm. Maybe it's just 10 minutes with your morning coffee, but it's your 10 minutes.
I think what's so interesting there is that the sources treat it less like a destination and more like a function,
Yeah.
a psychological function.
Mm.
It's defined by the feeling it gives you, not what's in it. It's like, building a cognitive buffer into your day.
A cognitive buffer. I like that.
Yeah, and in this world of constant demands,
Yeah.
that buffer is what allows for those honest internal conversations, for just gentle reflection. So when we talk about feeling safe, it's deeper than just comfort. It's about creating a place where you can, where you can put down the armor you wear all day.
Right.
It's where you can actually process things and feel seen and understood, even if it's just by yourself. That moves it from a nice to have into a tool for psychological hygiene.
That idea of a cognitive buffer really elevates it for me. The goal isn't just relaxation, it's regulation. If you can stabilize your own emotional state, you can respond to everything else so much more thoughtfully. You're building resilience, not just escaping stress.
Precisely. So if we accept that broad definition, the next logical question is, okay, how do I build this right now? And the sources get very practical here. They focus on what they call anchors, things that are easy to get started with. The starting point is just identifying and really deeply visualizing your sanctuary. They suggest using sensory things we already love. So it could be the feeling of your favorite chair with a warm drink or that rhythm of a quiet walk in nature. These aren't just pleasant things. They're basically neural pathways to calm that you already have.
So you're not trying to invent something new. You're just leveraging these small moments of calm that already exist in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But for the visualization to really work, it has to be more than just a vague, happy thought, right? What did the sources say about making that mental anchor truly effective?
That's where the idea of sensory anchoring comes in. It's not enough to just close your eyes and think calm. That often doesn't work. To really get that feeling, you have to pull in multiple senses.
Okay.
So if your safe space is that quiet walk, don't just picture the trees. Try to feel the crunch of the leaves, smell the damp earth, hear the specific sound of the wind, that level of detail, that precision. That's what helps your nervous system recognize it as a real place of safety. It allows for that quick emotional shift. And the material calls this visualization your starting point.
That's incredibly useful.
Yeah.
It makes the whole idea so much more tangible and portable.
Portable is a great word for it.
Right. You don't have to physically leave a stressful meeting, but you can, for 60 seconds, run this detailed sensory simulation in your head and tap into that feeling. It becomes a real tool.
And that ability to access that feeling anywhere, that's the long-term benefit. The sources are clear. The more we nurture these small anchored moments, the more we can carry that sense of safety and calm into the rest of our day.
So it stops being this reactive thing you do when you're already maxed out.
Yes. It becomes a steady underlying sense of resilience that's just woven into your life.
And that, I think, brings us to maybe the hardest part of this, the actual psychological work involved. How does this fit into our daily lives When the world is screaming at us to be more productive, to push harder, to never stop, this whole idea feels so countercultural.
Oh, it absolutely is. And the sources say the biggest hurdle for most people is just accepting that it's okay to prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
For so many of us, especially high achievers, giving yourself permission to just pause feels like you're being lazy or unproductive.
Yeah, it can feel like a failure.
Right. But the sources frame it as an essential survival strategy. You can't be productive long term if you're completely burned out.
So the safe space is the place you retreat to, but the real work is setting the boundaries that protect it. What specific actions do the sources suggest for that?
They focus on two really powerful things. The first is setting clear boundaries. And this isn't about being defensive, it's about drawing a firm line between your energy and the world's demands. It's
Yeah.
an act of emotional triage.
I like that, triage.
The second thing, and this connects directly to the safe space, is giving yourself permission to just breathe
Yeah.
fully, freely.
It sounds so simple.
It does, but when we're stressed, our breathing gets really shallow, which keeps our nervous system on high alert. Your sanctuary, whether it's real or in your head, is your permission slip to interrupt that physical pattern. It signals safety to your body.
That's brilliant. It connects the abstract idea of permission to a direct biological feedback loop.
Exactly.
We're taught to manage our time, but this is about managing our physiological state.
Yeah.
When you let yourself breathe deeply, you are literally telling your body to stand down from fight or flight.
Exactly right. So when life feels too heavy, or you're fighting that constant noise, the decision to step into your sanctuary, even for a minute, is a proactive strategy. It's about protecting your core emotional reserve so you can show up in the world feeling centered, not drained.
It's really the ultimate act of self-governance, isn't it? You're
Yeah.
basically saying that your internal peace is a non-negotiable part of the equation.
And that clarity is the real goal.
Yeah.
When you build this sanctuary, you're creating a reliable counterbalance to stress. It's always there. It's where you can process what's happened and feel lighter, more prepared.
This has been such a helpful analysis. It's a topic that can feel a bit superficial sometimes, but the takeaway from this material seems very clear.
It is.
It is okay to slow down. It's okay to breathe.
Yeah.
It's okay to take care of yourself, not as a reward, but as a prerequisite for everything else.
And we really hope you take that message to heart. When you nurture these safe spaces, you are intentionally creating moments to self-validate. You're making sure that you feel seen and heard and understood by the one person who matters most in that moment, yourself.
That internal connection is the true return on this work. That's what builds real resilience. So as you go about your day, let's leave you with a final thought, building on this idea of starting small. Given that a safe space is really about its function as a cognitive buffer, what single small sensory-anchored habit, not a huge routine, just one reliable minute, can you start today to carry that feeling of safety into tomorrow? Start there, breathe deeply. We'll see you next time.